welcome to the stream. I'm eating at the same time. Hey, Kruger, what's going on, man? Welcome to whatever it is I'm drawing tonight. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I really don't know. I had this sort of picture in my head, and I thought I would just try to figure it out, you know? So we're gonna see if it works out. Unfortunately, why is my chat not interesting? Thanks for the gifts, by the way. It's pretty awesome. I think I'm actually drawing no particular character, just some chick kind of reaching up right now. I don't actually even have reference for this. I'm just kind of making stuff up as I go. I'm super glad to see you back. That's kind of cool. This is kind of a weird angle here. Really should have done this on a larger sheet of paper, I think. Do like a I'm also eating ice cream, so you'll see me stuff in my face in a minute. this looking up business is it's a really weird angle. What flavor? It's vanilla, and I've got some peanut butter in there. Vanilla is my favorite flavor, but really it just becomes a conduit for peanut butter. Let's see. I give her a coat. Excuse me. I'm also dealing with a crazy amount of allergies, which is really getting annoying. We can't seem to get this this whole weather thing under control. I feel like I made a grave mistake starting with a much smaller pencil. Usually I start with this big chunky guy. Where's it at? This dude. I'm working with a 0.5 instead of a 5.6. In fact, I might have to swap to this other pencil. Not the big one, but like something a little more robust. We're going to go with the 2 mil. So you got to have the right tool for the right job, right? So using a little bit larger of a pencil lets me be a little more freeform. Bring the jacket out. Give it a bit of a lapel. What is it called? Lapel? Like the collar? I don't like any of that. I'm also drawing on watercolor paper, which is a little weird for me. But it is what I had that is this particular dimensionality. I didn't want to draw on a full 9x12 or something bigger. I wanted to do like the point of what I'm doing right now is just to become a trading card. So what I will do is I will draw ink and color this thing, and then I'll scan it and produce trading cards. I don't know if I showed this the other night, but like this is one of them that I did the other day. Same size paper, and it became this trading card. I mean, you can see I added a little bit of effect in Photoshop, but I have a art show thing this weekend at a Magic the Gathering tournament. Excuse me. And I have this feeling I'm not going to make enough money to make my booth space back. So I'm trying to come up with a few more things that are marketable at that event. So gotta take this earbud out. very difficult to keep it inside the headphones. I was listening to Caitlin's stream. So probably what we'll do here, this camera is also kind of annoying me. Gotta get used to this stuff. Brandy, how was work? I actually didn't expect you to jump on this one for some reason. Figured you'd probably already be in bed or something. Shoulder doesn't look quite right. Too much. Exciting news for me. I broke 1,000 followers on TikTok today. Means I can put a link in my like an actual clickable link to my website in my bio. You're not that lazy. I'm not accusing you of being lazy. I don't think my wife is lazy, and she goes to bed she's been in bed for an hour. I think it's his hair, maybe, that's messing with me. Thank you. Like I said, I don't actually think it really means anything. I don't think they're going to start paying me or anything. But it's kind of a interesting thought to think 1,000 of you guys watch me scribble on paper a lot. Most of this will be blacked out. And we'll have hand kind of like this. Are you, I need to come check out your page. So it's weird, I don't actually watch a whole lot of TikTok stuff. Mostly because I'm just always at work. But I definitely need to come check it out. Especially if you're bending steel, that stuff is cool. This might just come out looking really goofy. Oh, let's see. I'm hoping there's enough pencil on this to make this work. We'll just get right past the point of no return, right? Once there's ink on the page, you can't really do a whole lot of edits anymore. Line confidence has to go way up. It's one of my least favorite things about watching Jim Lee draw is the dude goes straight into ink so fast. And it's just like, dude, bruh, how do I get that good? Well, the trick is I'm never going to get that good. I just have to accept that fact. And just go with it, you know? But the really actual important part of doing artwork is that you never actually get good. There's such thing as being good at art. You just are. I was trying to explain to somebody the other day that the most important skill you can have as an artist isn't even the ability to draw or practicing your fundamentals like being able to draw a square or a circle or whatever. The most important skill I think an artist can have is that of perception. And that can mean a lot of things. You know, like, what did you notice here? Is it, the shadows of a certain thing, or the shape that a thing really is? Like, is it a circle? Is it a square? You know, like, you have to be able to perceive those things in order to illustrate them. But also, just having the confidence to put the line on the paper is also perception. How do you perceive yourself? How do you perceive others? Did you notice the wrinkles on the hand where the knuckles are at? It's all perception. This marker wants to be dead. No, I have another one here somewhere. It's a big boy. Sometimes in drawing, it's about what you're not letting the viewer perceive at all. Sometimes what you have to do is make them invent the details in their own mind. It's a skill I am very poor at. And this is a very bad illustration. I'm just gonna say right out the gate. This was a thought that I had in my head today while I was at work, and we'll see how it comes out. Probably just end up being a thing I throw in the trash. My favorite pen just doesn't want to work. Not allowed. Oops, bumped the camera. Not allowed to throw it away. Well, I usually don't. You've seen the videos. I usually just burn them. It's actually kind of cathartic to find myself unhappy with a piece and just go out and burn it. Because in some ways, it's not the crappy drawing that I am burning, it's my bad attitude. Now, if one of you guys has the desire to launder some money, I would indeed tape a banana to a wall for $3 million. Or give you the ashes of a destroyed drawing. If anything, though, thanks, CoffeeBot. If anything, though, this is possibly just a warm-up sketch. I don't know. Or it could just be me frustrating the hell out of Brandy. You know, sometimes you just have to do it, you know? Burn old poetry, that's a thing. I actually have a couple of friends who they do slam poetry, which is totally a thing that I did not know a whole lot about until I filmed it a couple of times. I was like, wow, that's a thing. But I have a couple of friends who will actively burn the things after they deliver the poem, like in the venue that they participate in. My sound effect just did something crazy. Thanks, Jamie, for the like. Does it show that somewhere? Didn't put it in chat that he liked it, but he popped it up on the screen. And he gave me this thunderous boom. My goal was not to completely black her out, but they say in comics, if in doubt, black it out. Poetry, it's just rap without the beat, right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say if Brandy doesn't understand it, that's crazy to me because she's a librarian. And reading is kind of her job. I like this pose, but should have looked up a reference. I wanted to try it. It's not really working out for me here. She is holding her hand up, yes. And the idea is that I'm going to put some sort of energy blast coming in from behind her, I think. I wanted to do something that was similar to the other one that I had done. Drop my pen. How are the audio levels tonight? Do I sound okay? Or do I sound kind of weird on this microphone? How is the audio, the music too loud or anything? Gotta eat my peanut butter. I could turn it down. I turn it down some more. How's that? Might also just be the track. Let's see. Is it too early to start color? I know it's hard to see, but I just put my swatches up there. That's all. You're not missing anything. I'm glad I could influence somebody to do something useful in their life. Ice cream is important. At any rate, I wanted to keep the color palette very, very minimal on this. So I'm just going to do like red, white, blue, and black, I think. See if I can make it work. And also keep it sketchy. So since I hit 1,000 followers on TikTok today, I think I might try to do like some sort of art giveaway or something. I don't exactly know what to do, but oh no. Well, the upside there is now you have the right amount of ice cream, because there's no such thing as too much, or honestly even so much. Like, that's just fake news, chick. I do like a gallon a week. And I buy it in like the very large Walmart gallon size. I just like the cheap stuff, man. Just the cheap vanilla. I don't trust this chat window anymore. If you're on a different platform other than TikTok and you are chatting or sending any kind of messages, I am not seeing them. You went up and hung out with Jamie at work last night? That's funny. I don't know what I want to do in the background here. I think I'm going to do just a red. Oh, snap. I forgot her hand. I also normally tape the edges of these things. And going crazy tonight. I figure if this works out as a cool card, then cool. If not, then it just becomes a little bit more embers for the chickens to play in. I found myself having this sort of weird, I don't know, hybrid kind of art style. It got brought up a lot at the Comic-Con that I went to a couple of weeks ago. It's like I have a blend of anime and Western comic book style. And I don't think I've seen hardly any animes like start to finish. I do enjoy the really hyper detailed anime stuff that I've seen, but I haven't watched any of the shows. I also don't read comics. I own a very few amount of them, mostly for the artwork. I have watched an incredible amount of Jim Lee's art, though. Well, now that I know Brandy has all the ice cream, I'm going to have to come down and steal some. Ice cream's my favorite food group. By the way, all this music is from Epidemic Sound, and if it's still too loud, I can turn it down some more. You have a friend named Rolo? That's awesome. Easily my least favorite character in the show Vikings. But anybody who treats their family like shit kind of, I don't know. I don't like them. But it is a dope name. Wish my mother would have opted to give me a cool name. Instead, I got named after my biological father that I've only met in person twice in my entire life. And he kind of just left and never paid child support, never came around. Your ice cream's not that precious. But that's also understandable. I'm noticing the watercolor paper is significantly streakier than my Bristol board. You know, I'm kind of feeling the audio is a little too loud too. I turned it down like quite a bit. Why that actually, it's not adjusting my audio, that's just adjusting your audio. Let's see if it gets significantly quieter for you guys. Is your actual name Kruger? Because if your actual name is Kruger, that's also fucking sick, dude. Pardon my French. Please don't ban me, TikTok. That is awesome, dude. I mean, I can see as how that could cause you problems. Because, you know, the whole Nightmare on Elm Street thing. But, like, what else other than like Freddy Krueger? What else would be wrong with having that name? Because that's super dope, dude. And by call sign, do you mean like your gamer tag, or like, is it a military thing? What do you mean your call sign? Because I've been going by Deadlands since computers were invented. But I was never in the military. Oh, nice. So what do you, if it's not too much personal information, what do you do in the military? And thank you for your service. That's a big deal. I very much appreciate all that you do to keep me and my family safe and free. Means a lot. Excuse me. Well, one of my good friends is actually I have a couple of really good friends that are medically retired. I tried to join the military. I did ROTC in high school and in college, and was unable to join the military thanks to a very, very, very bad recruiter. It was just a whole ordeal. But I have a good friend of mine. He actually has type 1 diabetes, but it didn't happen until he had been in the military for a couple of years, and then it like just late life on. I don't know how that works, but he was like 27 or 28 or whatever, and just all of a sudden was diabetic. So that was wild. He actually, about my age, he's spends a lot of his, it's very, like they do everything they can to control his diabetes, but he still ends up spending a lot of his nights in the emergency room. The guy, he's like super fit, does like long distance marathon biking, and he still cannot control his blood sugar. So 10.5 years is a long time in the military, dude. I feel like they could wear you out in about 30 minutes. It is a choice career for sure, and just huge props to you for that, dude. I wanted to do it so bad. I shot Camp Perry, Ohio when I was 16 years old, and as a civilian, and I got second place. I wanted to be a sniper. I spent a lot of my childhood doing that stuff. I mean, as a child, I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. Like, literally, this is what I wanted to do with my entire life. But when I was in high school, I wanted to be a sniper. Or a fighter pilot. You know, kind of went back and forth on those things. But I tried very hard to get into the military. I got a nearly perfect ASVAB score. Man, that sucks, dude. But look at it this way. You got 10 years out of it. I'm sure it was a hell of a good time. I appreciate what you did. And now, hopefully, you don't have anywhere near the PTSD that a lot of guys who've had to do just horrendous things. And despite being medically retired, maybe you can still enjoy some of the things. I hope. I have another very good friend of mine. I actually went to kindergarten with a guy who, he was in the Marines when we invaded Iraq the first time. And, he got blown up. He got blown up by, I always get it wrong. IED, there you go. Holy shit, dude. That's a lot. That's a lot. Man. That's a lot. I will forever keep you in my thoughts for sure. The fact that you're sitting here watching me do this makes me feel just horrendously bad, though. I complain about my job all the time. I don't actually hate my job. I just hate the fact that I am super micromanaged and have 4 bosses with a department of 2 people. And they don't like to talk to each other. So I end up redoing the same stuff over and over again. Four combat tours is also, that feels like a lot. But listen, I feel like it's important to say, if you ever need somebody to talk to or like whatever, you know, I mean, I'm absolutely willing to get on a phone call and listen to all the things. And you know, if you ever need a friend, like, I understand how some of that stuff can be. And I do not ever want anybody to take that stuff lightly. So, I mean, it probably doesn't mean that much coming from a fat bastard like me. But I'm for real. My grandfather was in, excuse me. Oh man, that came out of nowhere. My grandfather was in the Navy in World War II, and they were literally just off the coast of Japan on an aircraft carrier when they blew it up, and he said he could see it all. And you know, it's important for me to say that I don't understand all that stuff. I haven't lived all that stuff. I do have some experiences in my life that have made it difficult at times. Nothing like that. But you know, like I said, if you ever need somebody, man. I gotta get down here. I can't see what I'm looking at anymore. Yes, it's true. It's thanks, CoffeeBot. My grandfather on my dad's side was a homicide detective in one of the worst places. In fact, you were in the Army. Have you ever been to Fort Sill? My grandfather, Fort Sill is just outside of Lawton, Oklahoma. Um, he was a homicide detective for Comanche County. He was there for 42 years. In like 2006 or 2009, I can't remember. Time magazine actually released an article. They made the front cover that said Lawton, Oklahoma had more gang activity per capita than any other city in America. So there were constantly, like the road I grew up on, the neighborhood I grew up on, we literally had drive-bys on a daily basis because we were the police officer's house in that neighborhood. So anyway, he did that for 42 years. The first time I had an incident, I was 13 years old, and a guy like broke into our house in the middle of the night, and my grandfather slept with a 357 Magnum police revolver under his pillow, and it was just me and my grandfather in the house, and the dude like bent over my grandfather. He slept on a wrestling mat in the floor, and I guess the correct term for TikTok is unalived. And so obviously I was there and it woke me up, and so I had to help clean up because, you know, the coroner and the medical examiner people, they don't do cleanup. They just come and take the body. Oh, 04 to 10. I lived in Lawton from 1985 until 2010. If your buddy was ever into Magic the Gathering, I've probably met him during that time. What's his, if you can share it, what's his actual name? Because I remember playing with a lot of military dudes. I don't remember all their names. And I don't remember calling one cowboy. But there was only a couple of them that we actually called by, like, not their name. I remember a guy named Egghead. He was military. We called him Egger. William. Was he an Air Force dude? Kind of thin, short black hair. I remember an Air Force dude named Will. I think it was in the 90s, though. Or Billy. Ooh, I do remember a guy named Billy. Man, I can't seem to put his face in my head though, but I remember a dude named Billy. We played at a place called for a while it was called D's Baseball Cards, and then he changed it to Tom's Card Kingdom. And if that rings a bell, you should know that Tom passed away just like last year. That's wild. I knew a lot of those guys. Not super well, but man, this having gas problems. All those army guys are really cool people, though. I guess the point of that story was, yeah, sure. I probably wouldn't have known his last name necessarily. Anyway, I mean, some of those guys we did call by their last name, but that's okay. I was around Tom. There wasn't a whole lot of places that you could play Magic. There was probably during that time it was Carolina Comics, and then there might have been this can't remember the name of the store. It was up on North Cache Road, and it was actually run by an old military vet too. He was a really cool guy. I liked playing up there because there was very few tournaments I didn't just win. That's wild. But I say all that stuff just to say that while I do not understand all of the things that you would have or have gone through, even the possibilities of them all, I do comprehend some of them because I lived a few of them, and I'm not trying to play them down or any of that kind of stuff by any means. Everybody's been through shit, but not everybody's shit's the same, you know? But some of it's similar. Roger that. Welcome back. Seeing a lot of names fly through the have joined list, but not a lot of them are sticking around. I need to shadows in here. Ugh, that's too dark. I don't like it. Bad choice, John. Bad choice. I'll tell you right now that Scott's going to give me shit for this character's head angle. Man, that is kind of crazy. It's a small world, and Lawton happens to be the butthole of most of it. I don't regret, not that I could have done anything about it, I don't regret having lived there or been there, though. Most of my family outside of my grandfather has been in education. So like my grandma, my uncle, my mom, a couple of aunts, my little sister actually, and me for a long time all worked for Lawton Public Schools. If I was really going to bitch about anything, it would be that. Lawton Public Schools is miserable. Talk about a place packed with fraud. Yeah? So where are you actually from? Are you from Maine? Or is that just where you ended up? Christina Whistler, don't sit over there and hide. I can see that you have joined. Join the chat. Brandy, are you just from Chickasha, or have you just lived there your whole life, or like what? I've never actually asked that question. Oh, you're in Montana, right? That's what MT is, Montana? I'm actually pretty jealous of that. Born in Kentucky. Huh. That's where the accent comes from. Never placed it. The Army will do that. When I was a kid, I had a really good friend whose mom and dad were both in the military. And they sent them to Turkey. Fort Sill absorbs another one. Ugh. My mom's dad was the only person who ever successfully navigated being in the military. Like I said, he was Navy during World War II. That's a lot of driving, man. But hey, if you're ever out in this area again, or have plans to be or something, I'm just up in Oklahoma City area, which is very close to all the things in Texas. And I'd totally get together and have a beer. That's your thing. I don't drink that much. But most of my military friends do. Oh, okay. My in-laws are all in the Tulsa area. We're actually up in the Tulsa area all the time. And I work for the state of Oklahoma. So I'm in Tulsa all the time for work too. Heck yeah, man. I'm down. Just next time you're gonna be out this way, just let me know, you know? I'll totally have a beer. Or whiskey, whatever. I'm a cigar guy. If I thought I could get away with it, that would be hilarious. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. There's Katrina. How's it going, Katrina? Maybe another hop in and abandon us. Gonna hang out while we draw. I don't know how I feel about this. The downside to these markers is that you don't have the randomness like with ink where you can splatter it and stuff. So to get the splatter paint effect, I either have to bust out ink, and I have no ability to control the randomness that I desire, or I have to scan it and put it in Photoshop, which is what I'm going to end up doing. Jubilee from X-Men. I drew a Jubilee from the X-Men. I can't show it on stream because she's got like a see-through tank top. I don't even know if I have a picture of it handy. Let me see. Maybe I do. Probably on my phone somewhere. Let's see. Photos. I actually sold a couple of keychains that I had made of Jubilee. There we go. Jubilee keychain that I made. I drew that, and then I also drew a Psylocke. Big butt Psylocke. I like to make all of my own merchandise from my own artwork, and so I don't typically outsource any of it. Just got a whole bunch of comments out of nowhere. What the heck? 39. What is going on? Something's happening on TikTok, and I don't know what in the heck. I had like 900 subs earlier today, and now I've got 1,038. Just like all from today. These are all in the last 4 hours. Something's out of control. I think I broke the algorithm somehow. What video? Oh. I posted one of these like viral trending topics for artists. That's funny. And it worked. Ugh. Almost feels gross. It did. That stupid I've got 4 photos to make you like me thing has got 6,000 views on it. Whereas most of the stuff I post only gets like 200. And yeah, I can see the storm thing. I don't know. I wasn't going for anything in particular when I started this thing. I was just kind of goofing, man. It was wild. Did the music die like altogether? It did. This piece is just destined to become a trading card, I think. Maybe. That's what these are typically, actually, is I just make tokens. Like this is for Magic the Gathering. It's just a wizard token. I don't know if you play. They've kind of gone crazy with the amount of things lately. I'm actually about to take and sell the rest of my collection, I think. I've got too many bills I've got to get paid off. I'm currently financially supporting an entire extra household right now because they were good friends and I just don't want them to suffer. But it's making it real difficult to pay my own bills. So my really close friend of mine, we've been friends for 20 years almost now. Actually just a hair longer than I've been friends with Jamie. He's disabled, cannot work, missing a leg, most of his fingers are gone. His house burnt down at Christmas in 2024, and I had literally the month before that happened, we bought a new house and moved out of the old one. And so his insurance company is supposed to be rebuilding his burnt down house, but in the meantime he had to have somewhere to stay, and they weren't giving him money to live anywhere. They were just like, guess what, you got to deal with it. And so I let him move into my house, and he still has like the mortgage and his bills and like all the things that have to be left on while the contractor's working on the burnt down house. So his entire disability check goes to pay for that stuff, and I'm paying for the utilities and the property tax and all the stuff at the old house where he's currently staying. They were supposed to have been done rebuilding his house in June of last year, but the insurance company is being an insurance company and really like being pedantic and fighting over every wooden nickel. And so the insurance company has caused it to be delayed by a year now, with all this fighting and arguing and just crazy stuff. And now they've been fighting about it so long that his contractor has been paying for things out of his pockets and is like, I would like to be reimbursed now, so that I can afford to finish the project. And the insurance company is just basically like, no, we're not paying any more money out until the house is finished. But nobody's got money to put into this house that's been burnt down. So I can't sell the house or quit paying the bills because I have a family there that I'm responsible for. It's been tough. But you gotta do the thing you think is the right thing to do, you know? And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about it. I love Scott and his family to death. And will literally lose everything before I do anything that would cause them hardship, if possible. You're going to be able to see any of these tiny ass little lines. We're getting there. We're almost done. Thanks, Coffee Bot. Someday I gotta figure out what the hell that thing is. shut it off because I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about this coffee page at coffee.com. I hope they do, man. So a few years ago, this is really the only saving grace to this whole mess. A couple of years ago, my son was playing in a kiddie pool. He was like about 5 years old, and somehow there was a giant chunk of glass in the pool. He stepped on it, and it cut the whole bottom of his foot open really bad. And we had to take him to the ER to get stitches. Well, on the way to the ER, an electrician ran a stoplight in a full-size, like a Sprinter van, and they T-boned us. And so we ended up going to the hospital via ambulance instead of me driving. My mother-in-law, because of this accident, had to have a hip and a knee replacement. My wife had to have 2 spinal surgeries. And my son had to have a ton of stitches. I was driving the car, but I was fine. Somehow. Well, that settlement, not nearly as much as you would think, but it did pay off our house. And by that, I mean, when I bought that house, before I even met my wife, and we've been married for 10 years now, I bought that house for $60,000, so the settlement was not that much money, but it was enough to pay that house off. And we had been married in that house for almost 9 years before the settlement happened. So it was very much paid down. So there's no house payment on this thing. There's just bills and property tax and insurance and stuff. So I don't have like a mortgage on it or anything. But when we bought the new house, the goal was to sell that one and put that money towards the new one. But since I've got a family living in it, we can't go and sell it, you know? Those tiny little lines aren't even going to show up when I print this thing as a card. Excuse me. You sent 100 comments to my live. You're the man. Usually it's Brandy carrying the dumpster fire load. I appreciate that, sir. Do you actually? So do you play Magic or anything now? Like, are you into any nerd games? Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Flesh of Blood, any of that kind of stuff? I love Caitlin, and I love Rob. Long time ago, D&D and Warhammer. Okay, well, I did Warhammer for a while too. I met so the guy that Caitlin lives with, or whatever they want to call it. We actually met because we were both YouTubers at the time, and we decided to meet up and shoot YouTube videos and stuff together. So I actually flew up to Rhode Island and all those places or whatever to meet them, and it was actually before they were really dating. And I shot a bunch of videos with them, and that's where I stepped on a nail, stepped on a toothpick, lost my drone, broke my heel, a whole bunch of bad. But we've stayed friends. I'd actually like to go back up there and visit them sometime. If you ever need a D&D portrait drawn for a character, just let me know. I can hook that up. Oh, nice. Yeah, she's good people. I feel like there's something weird going on here in the middle of this chick's outfit, though. You know, my wife would, if you did tattoos, she would totally be down to get a tattoo. I don't have any. Not for lack of disliking them or anything, but mostly because I feel like I'm indecisive. And I feel like, what I'm into now I won't be into in 5 years, and then I would regret it. I don't know. It's a really stupid reason. But I grew up wanting to be a comic book illustrator. Which I recently started. Brandy is becoming a tattooaholic. I think she's got two or three tattoos now. I actually have no idea. But I recently started illustrating a comic book. My gosh, this drainage is whooping. Something to scribble upon. Well, now it's been signed, which means it is dead in the water. Is this where I take it out and burn it? I will say it did come out a little better than I expected. I had a picture of this thing in my head while I was at work, and I was like, I gotta try it. Not bad. This like thing that happened here with her dress is a little weird. Maybe I can fix it. If in doubt, black it out. Well, there's that one. I'm gonna get cards of it made tomorrow because like I said, I manufacture them myself, and then I will probably put the original and the cards on my website, so that they can sit there unpurchased for the next however long. Yeah, the problem is it just kind of looks phallic right now. It looks weird. But yeah, I'll get this made into a card tomorrow, and I'll probably put it on my website for sale. These 4x6s, I generally, well, I haven't actually sold one, but $96, the original. I sell trading cards like this, like the printed trading cards for $3. I do not have any of my other originals in here. They're all in the garage. I have prints that I make. I don't do actual digital art, but I added some digital effects to that one. I sell these for $10. I actually have a handful of different sizes, just not in here where I could show them. They're outside in my we're going to the art show thing this weekend box. I literally did this one while I was at the Comic-Con for a guy. See if I can not just show my crotch here. I did this Gambit for Marvel Rivals. He said he wanted it, told me he was going to buy it, and then never showed back up to buy it. So I got stiffed on that one. What else do I have in here? Here's some actual trading cards that I haven't cut out yet that I've done that are, trading card sized. It happens. somebody will eventually want it, or it will go to the pile of things that Brandy yells at me for burning. Either way, I get some kind of attention, right? Did a Godzilla for Jamie's Godzilla deck, and these were just two things that I willy-nilly did, but I need to get them cut out so that I can put them on my table this weekend. I've done 3 romantasy novels covers. This is one of them that I finished the other day. Still need to get it in the mail. You can have attention without destroying your work. No, it's not the same. I like it when you get all raw, you know. So it's fun. It's fun for me. Do I have any other work in here? I might run out to the garage real quick and grab a book so I can show you. I feel like since you're new here, I am morally obligated to show you stuff. Give me just 1 second. I have this. I can show you this. This is a ruined cover for my comic book that I'm working on. The cover didn't... Something's wrong with it. I don't know what happened. But I disposed of it. But that's my main character. Her name is Mabel. And it is supposed to be reminisce of Red Sonja and Conan the Barbarian. Give me a second. I'm going to run out here and grab a thing. Yeah, that's the, so I did a concept art book for my comic book. I wanted to have an 8-page comic book done before the Comic-Con, but I just didn't make it. So I made these are like ash cans just to be passed out, whatever, for free. But they were just on regular printer paper. But it is essentially like a bio and a little bit of my story, and then some information about the Patreon site that I'm running for the comic book. I feel like this could go higher and be better off. So I have a Patreon for my comic book, and then some of the original like concept art for my main character, which was actually supposed to be a character that I was going to hand draw an entire like Magic Commander deck with just her on it. This is the original concept art cover that I was doing, and then her little friend Midge that's in the comic, and then this new character I just came up with named Sierra. My wife named her. Logo. This was a thing I drew like sitting in my car while I was on vacation. And then I've got 4 pages of my comic book in pencils along with the script that the author gave me, so you could kind of see what I was illustrating from. And then page 2, page 3, and then page 4. I would love to do your poetry book cover. That would be awesome. Now, some of these things are going to have art that I can't show because they'll be naked people. That's an older concept for Mabel. This book I think is actually empty. it's not completely empty, I'd be shocked. Yes, that one's empty. Let's see what's in this one. I did this for Jamie, basically. Another picture I did for a trading card. There's the original of Midge and her monster. These aren't tears, just sand in my eye. That's very military of you. This is some old stuff. This is some young lady asked me to draw her character. A zombie and like a little goblin mechanic. This is my friend Buddy. He was joking around one day and was like, draw me as a milkmaid, and so that's what happened. This is another guy that wanted to be illustrated as an NCR Ranger from Fallout. He also stiffed me. There's another Mabel and Midge, like an early concept for them. Mr. Fantastic I did on the live stream a long while back. There's a Psylocke I did in 2015 in watercolor. Nicol Bolas, Elder Dragon Legend. I was playing around with Gold Leaf. Some more just really old stuff. This is just sketchbook junk. I think that's it in this one. Oh, there's Jubilee. That's what I made the keychain from. TikTok's gonna ban me for sure. This one's got a bunch of crap just stuffed in it that needs to be put into another location. This has got tons of prints. These are all prints of other things I've done. Trading card of 2B from Nier Automata, the video game. That's Mabel with the Sword of Fire and Ice from Magic the Gathering. Somebody dared me to draw Mabel in a prom dress, so there's that. This is Elish Norn from Magic the Gathering. There's that campfire picture. Here's like a medieval Sith Lord thing. Some zombies. I can't actually take a bunch of this to the thing this weekend because it's a religious event. And I cannot have anything that is even mildly suggestive. I drew Lady Deadpool. Doing hard hands. This is a giant sticker. This is a print of the first original I've sold. This was a very emotional illustration for me. Let's see, what else is in here? Some mess-ups. This is a stained glass portrait I did of a friend who's also a TikToker. On holographic sticker paper. I made a cardboard. Have I given you a copy of the Fairy Brandy? If I haven't given you one, I'll bring you one. This is a cardboard standee I made of Mabel. I just use that as a display on my tables. These are some other prints that I have. I need to get all this stuff listed on the website so I can get rid of it. Campfire. Prom Dress, Big Midget or Monster. This is Sword of Truth and Justice. Sword of Sinew and Steel. Hatsukune Miku, a little anime thing. Sword of Light and Darkness. I don't think they're going to let me have any of the pictures of Mabel at this event. Last time they made me take down the one of her in her prom dress because it was too sexual. I'm going to adjust this camera up some more so you can see this stuff. This is a big binder. Let's see. Mabel as a librarian. I could probably do that. This is a Halloween Reaper. This is the original pencils, and then I scanned it and copied it and printed it out as blue line to ink. And then finally color it. Come up, camera. It's just gonna mean her in a sweater with glasses, right? The Reaper, yeah. I did that live. Good times. Sword of Fire and Ice. Sword of Light and Shadow. Sinew and Steel. Feast and Famine. Hearth and Home. War and Peace. Truth and Justice. Mind and Body. It's not been colored yet. I don't even know if I'll ever get around to it at this point. The Magic the Gathering deck I was going to do was red, white, black, so this was going to be the basic plains of Mabel. This was the mountain. I didn't draw the swamp yet. There's another early concept for Midge and her monster. Mabel in her prom dress. This is the original. This is a portrait of some other TikTok girl. She wanted me to draw her. This is the one I drew in my car. Vacation. This is another TikTok girl portrait that also stiffed me. And then the stuff that'll get me in trouble. This is all watercolors I did quite a while back. This is Mox Jet. Black Lotus, Mox Emerald, Gingitaxis. This was actually done by Scott. Sheoldred and Graphite. Elish Norn. And then Blightsteel Colossus. Dude, I have been stiffed so many times by people wanting artwork and talking to them for a while, and they're like, yeah, I'm totally good for it. Give me like an hour and I'll be back, and then they just don't show up. Like, it's, you know, it's been happening a lot to me. This is the one I already showed you. This one is the actual status of the comic book I'm doing by myself. And it's upside down and backwards. Vexing is a good word. So this is the original pencils of Mabel and Midge sitting around the campfire. Copy or scanned, printed as blue line for ink. And then the colored original. So that's 3 originals for 1 piece of art. This is the logo for the comic book. And then we have the very first page of sequential artwork that I have ever done in my entire life. This in the story is a flashback. This is Mabel's father that is blacksmithing her sword, and then he cuts her hand to use the blood, which drips out of the frame onto this one. He's using her blood to forge the sword. Scanned, printed as blue line for refining and ink. And then blue line again, more ink, more refining. Then we did a color test. Tried some stuff, didn't end up liking it. Another scan, print as blue line, change some stuff, re-ink it again, and then yet another color test. And then we printed it again, and this is the actual full color page that will be printed in the comic when it's done. This is just page 1. So then we have page 2, and it's the same process every time. Pencils, scan it, print it as blue line, ink it. This one, we ended up not liking this frame that was down here, and so I drew this and then photoshopped it in before printing it again to ink. So you have the updated frame or panel. Not done being colored yet. Scott's actually working on that. And then page 3. So in this page, on page 2, in the story, Mabel has been kidnapped and she wakes up. She was having a dream about her father on page 1. Wakes up to find that she's been kidnapped and handcuffed and put in a cage. And so the guy's name is Grunter, lets her out of the cage, and he's going to sell her to this dude as a slave. And so there's some exchanges and stuff. And he gets pissed off at her. She mouths off. So he goes to swing at her, and she dodges his swing. And then she has the ability to summon her sword, sort of like Thor can summon his hammer. So she summons her sword, and he's like, what the fuck? And then her sword comes flying in. Hard to see, but there's a sound effect here. But it breaks her handcuffs. And then they face off. So this is my sort of like Marvel vs. Capcom fight screen. And then we have blue line for inking and refining multiple times. And then it's not ready for color yet. This is page 4, where they're fighting. She dodges his attack and she's like, haha, bitch. And then, and then she cuts his arm off. But I didn't like this panel, so I redid it with this one. And then we turned it into that. And I actually didn't like this either. So we undid that. And we have this now. And then, so she cuts his arm off, and he mouths off some more. So she cuts his head off. And then the other dude takes off running. And so at this point, she's chasing him down, and he trips and falls down this ravine. She leaps up into a tree, has some words that aren't, I mean, the words aren't on the pencils. Then she jumps out of the tree and kills him. Then she wipes her blade off and then happens to find his horse that he was running back to. And then this is like a thumbnail. I haven't drawn this page yet. She rides the horse back, and then here she will find Midge also in the cage, freaking out, losing her mind, and she can't control. She summons her monster with her hair, so she can't control it, and so she's freaking out. The monster summons, and then here you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but she gets punted out of the door. And then Scott actually drew the other page, but he has it with him. I don't have it here. Oh, I do have it here. That's what her monster looks like that kicked her out of the cage. So then, later on, this is Sierra. She is like a Viking berserker. She has 2 hand axes, and she has like bones all over her leather strappy armor. I just drew a reference pic. I haven't actually done any artwork of her yet. And then this is the cover I'm still working on. I need to finish coloring it, but original pencils and then a copy for color. It probably will be better to read it than me to verbalize it. But yeah, so I've got a, if you're into that sort of thing, I've got a Patreon set up. I think the lowest tier is $3. It's got like 3 or 4 tiers. It goes up to $20, I think. I've only got like a couple of people on it. And I haven't drawn anything for it in a couple of weeks because I've been busy with these art shows. But I am releasing all of it there as I get it done. And then whenever it's ready for print, I'm going to run a Kickstarter to try to get it paid for to get it printed. So yeah. Definitely be excited to have some more people checking it out. I will probably be on here on live stream working on it soon. I don't have any more commissions lined up at the moment. So I have some, as soon as I get in with this other show this weekend, I'll have some time to get back to working on it. But yeah. And speaking of time, it is after 10 and I have to get up and be at work at 4 in the morning. So if you are interested in the Patreon thing, if you go to my bio, there is a link at the top of my bio that's allmylinks.com/deadlance. That link will take you to a page with all of my social media on it, and towards the top of that page there is a link to the Patreon site and my website if you are ever interested in any of the merch or any of the things. I have really nothing there yet. I just got it online like last weekend. So I'm still working on that when I have time. All of this stuff with a full-time day job, dude, it's a lot. But I'm trying. I want to quit my job so bad. I hate it. But baby steps. When you are ready for that poetry book cover, just if you have any concept art or thoughts in your head, just write them out, send them to me. TikTok message, or there's actually a form on my website that is for commission requests, and we can hook it up. And I'm not opposed to an art trade at all. Whew. I bit my tongue while I was doing all that talking. Go for it, man. I will send you a text. I don't like to talk on the phone a lot, but I'll definitely text as much as you would like to. And if we need to have an actual chat about it, I'm totally down for it. It just have to be planned, because I I have a hard time getting away with phone calls at work, mostly just because I'm busy as crap. Dude, I am down. I'll do all the cover art I can do. And I'd like to think my art is very affordable. So yeah, we can hook it up. Especially if you have some kind of idea of what you want on the cover. Till then, I will probably be on... I don't know if I'll get to be on tomorrow or not. My son has a thing at 5 at his school, like a multicultural fair. I won't be on Friday or Saturday. If I can be on tomorrow, I'll be on tomorrow. If not, it might be next week. But thank you guys for hanging out. You're right. If you're not here, there's no point in me being here. I almost don't feel like there's a point in me being here anyway. I've got till July to find a way to make $2,000 a month with my artwork. If I can't make $2,000 a month reliably with my artwork in July, I'm gonna quit pushing so hard, because it is taking a lot of time away from the family. And if it doesn't start to feel like it's possible for me to quit my job in the next year or two, it's not worth taking away my son's childhood memories with his dad. So, 4 months. Maybe. Anyway, I love you both. Thank you so much. Shoot me a message, sir. I will text you tomorrow.